Welcome everybody, welcome to our series CESI Inside on the impact of the coronavirus on different professions and countries. And I'm very pleased to have with us today Javier, Jordán, Urries, our Vice President of CESI and the President of CSIF, Justice Trade Unions. Javier, welcome to our series CESI Inside.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Klaus. I'm very glad to see you all right, well fit and healthy. And I hope that everybody in CESI Secretariat is safe and healthy. And looking forward to be in Brussels again. But let's wait a little bit.
Yeah, we also look forward to not only welcome you in Brussels, but to see you in Spain, huh? Hopefully very soon.
Okay.
But how do you experience now the crisis? Because you have a double hat. You're Vice President of CESI on the one hand, so you know the EU and it's functioning very well. On the other side, you're really hands-on on the ground. How do you experience the crisis now, both as a trade unionist and maybe as a citizen also?
Well, this is a real challenge for me as a citizen, for every Spaniard, and for as a trade unionist. That is a really a very challenging period of time for our organizations. As a citizen, it is a very odd situation to be confined at home for more or less 60 days. And with very severe restrictions, movement restrictions, and this is a very we have to be very mind stable. You know what I mean? And it's hard to keep with the spirit up, and as well it's very and also it's very odd to talk with for instance, with my mother or with my brothers by video conference, like we are doing right now, and it's 2 months without seeing them. So it's a very odd situation and hard in some way, very hard to bear it. And as a trade union, it's really challenging because CESI is a trade union that is always based on the ground and close to the workers. We have our motto is to be close to the workers in the work centers, and for us to be a way to be online to give online support it has been a very really big challenge to organize our telephone and email support, and feeding our website many times a day, sorry, and Twitter and Facebook, and to experience without any preparation how telework go on, and with so long labor journeys, like 12 hours and all that, and with so many news coming up regardless the time, regardless the hour of the day. So we have to be very focused on what we are doing, and it's really challenging for a trade union and for a trade unionist.
Yeah, at this moment the information flow is so immense and in such a high rhythm, and as you said, in the time of the day and the night, it's difficult also for us here to keep track here in Brussels. Javier, what are you spoke about the organization within your trade union? What are the major issues at stake, the major challenges now for your members in this moment, but also maybe looking a little bit in a medium long-term perspective at their situation?
Well, I think right now the main challenge or the main worry of our members is how to face the back to work phases. Like we are right now, we are starting on this confinement phases. And this is one of the main worries, is how to go back to work in safety, and the safety in this process. No? you know. And we have had, as any European country, problems in the protection equipments for health service, of course, for law enforcement officials, and that happens in justice sector. That is not enough protection equipments, and that creates an atmosphere of confusion and worry. Yeah, people are very worried about how it's going to be this new experience of going back to work with the virus on the air and without enough protection equipment. It's a lack of confidence on the close future, and of course we are starting to think, or we have been thinking on the future as a trade union, and I think workers are very worried about the next future because of the economical situation. We cannot forget that as a civil workers, public servants, we depend on the budget, and if there's no income, there's no GDP increase, our salaries could be cut. And we have experienced this with the financial crisis just a few years ago. So it's a very hard and very complicated situation. Of course, in the private sector, we have friends and family that works in the private sector, and the situation in the private sector is very, very difficult. It could be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult, and there's a great uncertainty about what is going to happen, because we think that things are going to be wrong or bad, but we don't know exactly the level of this bad situation. So let's see. This virus has impact a lot in the workers.
Javier, you mentioned a very important and interesting question, because you mentioned, of course, all of us now, regardless of whether in Spain, in Brussels, or all over the world, we see that especially public services are essential. And we represent public services. CSIF is the major civil servants organization, a trade union in Spain. And yet you said, of course, due to let's say, economic and fiscal recessions or less income, there will be certainly a pressure on the public service or on civil servants there also to give their share. How will you evaluate that? Because I know from certain countries now more and more the discussions coming up. Civil servants, for instance, they earn so well, or they're highly insured, they should, let's say, impart more of what they have. And yet, on the other side, as I just said, the society notices actually that those who were carrying the state in the societies were civil servants, or those working for the public services, and that shouldn't that be the moment, and after the crisis also, to value these professions, and in whatever terms.
Yes. We have discussed it in CESI in the subcommission several times, that we cannot say, or we cannot face the problem of the cost of the public service and public servant as a cost, but as an investment. And I think this crisis, the good side of this, one of the good sides of this crisis, is that having a strong health sector is good for society. Having a good law enforcement sector is good for the society, and of course, justice does not lock down at all. We have continued working for citizens, and in the essential tasks or procedures. Okay. So we have to invest more. And one of the things that this coronavirus has demonstrated and has shown in a very clear way is that the lacks of the public sector in Spain. For instance, I can speak about the justice sector. The lack of the lack of technological implementation in justice has been shown up very clear. We don't have any telework system that works, that we can say we can call it by telework. So the first thing we have to do is we have to invest in this kind of system, of technological system, because we will suffer. Surely we will have suffer another crisis like this, and if we are able to work at home, probably justice sector would never stop in the way that it has stopped. And it's going to be very difficult to explain why we should keep investment in public services, because economical situation will be so bad, and most of the people will suffer a lot with this. But I think we have to insist, as a trade union, we have to insist on this, and because I think is a key factor to be resilient and to learn about this crisis, and to apply what we have learned for next crisis, and in order to make them to avoid these hard consequences. And I think this is one of the key elements that we have to keep for the future. And I think that this is the factor that we have to take and to grab as a trade union, and say, no, listen, okay, this is not a cost, this is not a waste. We are not wasting money in public services. We are investing in public services, because those public services guarantee the rights that every citizen enjoy in a modern society. And this is very clear with the health sector, as I said before.
Yeah, I mean, we already see now, or have a feeling of the potential lines of conflict coming, with which we will be confronted in the future, in the aftermath of this crisis. And as you said, I mean, to have a functioning good public service shows how resilient the society is, and the question will be also after the crisis, despite potential new austerity measures being taken by the different states in order to cope with this high level of debts now, caused by the fight against coronavirus, of course, is to see how can we save, or how can we further improve, how can we continue to invest in public services. So that will be decisive. Javier, you are vice president of CESI, you're president of CSIF Justice, and I sense always in the latest discussions with you that you're worried. That you're worried also about, let's say, our construction of the European Union. Can you be a little bit more specific on that, please?
Yes, I think after the Brexit, we thought that we have passed the worst threat that we have as the worst threat to European project. But I think coronavirus could be more dangerous than the Brexit, and because we have talked in the last answer. I have said that the cost and the investment we have to face in the future to keep public services, but we have to rebuild our economy. There are economies like Italian and Spanish economy, and probably Greek economy, and Greek economy comes from the financial crisis. That we have to rebuild these economies. We kind of forget that Europeans, we live in a single market, and we live in a common space. We have, and I think this is a great thing. We have right now commemorate the 70th anniversary of the European Union, and I think this is a very interesting project that gives us so many satisfactions, and we have progress as a societies, and our progress as societies has been very high. So in this task of rebuild the economy, to rebuild the economical system in Europe, we have to apply the principle of solidarity that was one of the foundations of this European Union. And we have to be, as Europeans, we have to be aware that perhaps in our countries, the coronavirus doesn't hit as hard as it has hit in other countries. But at the end of the day, we all belong to the same body, to the same market. So we as Spaniards are consumers in this market, and we cannot consume this market. We are not going to consume, for instance, German goods or anything. And the weakness on the other side, on the other hand, the weakness of one of the parts of this big body that is a European Union, weaken the European Union as itself. And I think after this crisis, we are attending a kind of new order in the world. And I think European Union and Europe has to take its place in this new order. And we have to strengthen inside to be able to show a strong position in this international new order.
As you speak of a new order, will trade unions have their place in this new order?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We have to renew, to learn about from this crisis, and to renew the way we represent these interests. We have talked in CESI in the summer days about the future of work. This is one of the main worries we have, and the main issues we discuss about in CESI. And I think this is one of the field we have to explore, and we have to face as a trade unions in the future. And I think we have a very wide, a very large field to do things as a trade union in the future. Of course, we have plenty work to do as trade unions, and as an independent confederation like is CESI as well.
Yeah, this is which is quite nice also to hear that from not only from us trade unions, but also from many other, in the frame of these many interviews we have been leading with think tanks, universities, politicians, etc. That labor market experts, that everybody is saying trade unions will be even more important, or are even more important during this crisis and in the aftermath of the crisis. In this sense, dear Javier, the importance maybe to have an organization like CESI, and a final message to the CESI community from your side?
Well, first of all, that keep safe, everybody. I want to see you all as soon as possible in Brussels, or here in Spain, or in France, or in the Netherlands, or in Germany, whatever country. It would be very nice to see you again. I hope this crisis give us the lesson that we have, that our union, our confederation has an important role and is important for us. And we can do more for this confederation, and the more we do for this confederation, for CESI, the more we get as a trade union in our countries. But I go back to the beginning. I think the main message is keep safe, please, and keep healthy and take care.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself and have a good day.
Thank you very much, Klaus. Bye-bye.
See you, Javier. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.